Hello guys, and thank you for joining us on this channel. From our previous video, we created a company called a sample company. And what is a company without employees? That will not qualify to be called a company. So we first select the company to make it active. Then after uh, making it active, then we can add employees to that company. So we go to employees, and this is where you create the employees. However, there are two options that you can pick from. You can either create single employees, or we can import a list of employees together with their details. First, let us look at how to create a single employee within the system. There are two views in this system. You can either view it as spreadsheet or card view. You'll be able to see how it looks like when we add an employee. So first, let's add an employee. Let's create an employee called Peter Kamau Otieno. That is our employee. He is a male. His ID number is 1234568, and his telephone number is 07 10 10 10 10. That is his telephone number. His email address is peter@gmail.com. That is his email. Now there are other details that you are supposed to take. That was personal details. Let's go to employment details. Employee ID, we can give them EMP 001. That's it. Staff number, we can give him ST 00012. Department ICT. Position manager. Basic salary, let's give him let's say 65,000. He's a rich guy. Now these ones, they are not necessarily, it's not necessary that you enter these ones. It only depends with the organization. If they have a, if they give the employees a contract, you can add the start date for that contract and the end date for that contract. Now once you're done with that, we can go to statutory. Here we can enter the KRA pin, the NSSF number, the shift number. Then if an employee has a help loan, you can enter here the help number. Then you have the option of either entering a percentage to be deducted from their salary, or a fixed monthly amount to be deducted from their salary. So for this one, we can go with, let's say he's paying 1,500 shillings every month. Then we have bank. For bank, we have these banks created in the system. However, if you want to add the banks, I'll show you where we will add them, and the branch, let's say Nakuru branch, and the bank is KCB Bank. Then the account number will be 1, 2. Then we go to system access. This is where you allocate roles to the employee. You can say he's just an employee, he's not a manager. Rather, because we entered a manager, we give him a manager title, so let's give him manager role. Leave it's not necessary that you actually enter it here. You can do that later. So we create the employee. Once you create the employee, a QR code will be generated for the employee. This is to help us create a employee card. So if you want to, that is how you create a single employee within the system. If you want to import a list of employees into the system, you'll first need to have a sample. So we click bulk import. We download the CSV file sample. Then after filling in the details using the sample, we can then import the list into the system. So I have already made this one. So we import it. It will give you a small preview down here. Then you click import the 20 employees. Now our employees are now in the system. This is how they look like when you are viewing on card view. If you choose a spreadsheet view, this is how they will look. So that's how they look. You can either edit, delete, or print the QR code. The QR code is used when clocking in or clocking out out of the system, but that will obviously depend on how you're using the system. So once you've created the employees, I think it is important for me to also mention that we can create the banks where their money is going to be deposited. So these are the default accounts, but you can actually add another one if you want. If you have a bank called Maandamano Bank, you can add it here. Give it a bank code, let's say 123. Then the SWIFT code, let's give it up to 6. Once you click add bank, it adds the bank, but we don't have such kind of a bank. But that is how you create a bank. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the next video.